It's Thursday, April 4th, and my name is Eamon Hotep. My co host won't be joining me today. We had a special guest coming on, and we had to be sensitive to his time. So, this is actually a pre recorded show. So, let me pull his information up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about there. So, let's see. I definitely need somebody to do this for me. Hopefully, we'll get big enough for that to happen. So until then, it's going to be me. All right, so we got the extraordinary comedian from Philadelphia, Mr. Joe Hill, and he definitely will be on sharing his experience through his journey in the world of comedy. Before we bring Mr. Hill on, I'm going to give you guys just a taste of his comedic experience. Let me get this off of here. Let me see if I can do this right there. Let's see. There you go. All right. So here's Joe Hill right here.
Hey, man. Sometimes, when people call you and you be on the phone and they got nothing to talk about, and you're trying to find a way to hang up, and you don't really have the nice, polite thing. Hey, man, I'm your guy for that. I call him, hit him with the left. Is always say something that, usually they going to believe it because it's left field. They ain't got time to process it on the phone. So this is your way or ways to hang up if somebody's on the phone talking too much. Thank me later. Right. Yeah. Now, listen, I would like to chat more, but I got to get these mics. They running across the ceiling right now. All right, let me call you back. Yeah, I understand, but look. I got to meet Jesus outside in 5 minutes, so I got to call you back. Yeah, I got to call you back. I mean, I'm busy, and I got practice with Kyrie in 2 minutes. I got to go. I got to call you back. I got to pick the clouds up. They're falling out the sky.
Oh man. So without further ado, here is no other than Mr. Comedy himself, Mr. Joe Hill. How'd that thing go with Jesus?
He had me waiting. That's all I'm gonna say. He had me waiting, man. Thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Hey, listen, this show is brought to the audience by a foundation called the Ethel Lee Zachary Foundation. Your uncle, Mr. Derek Wallace, is on there on our board, and we basically empower inner city youth culturally and academically. So we try to bring on people that we know, believe have some connection to the inner city, so they can bring about, a positive impact to the community and the youth in regards to, getting out of the struggle. So we'll just call it that, struggle. So I guess right off the bat, what brought you into the world of comedy?
First off, I gotta let you know, hey Boogie, I'm originally from the Bronx, born and raised. I had to.
Okay,
I
cool.
know you said Philly on the intro, but it's all good. It's all love. I appreciate you. I mean, naturally, I've always loved and enjoyed making people laugh, entertaining, talent shows, and coming from a Black culture, this. Our family, we would do a lot of talent shows for each other, whether it was music, dancing, rapping, telling jokes. So I always fell into that category of just being that funny kid. But coming from I'm coming after them. So for me, it's I don't know, always wanting to put a smile on people's face. It's a real joy for me. So I knew at a young age. I didn't know I was going to be a stand-up comedian, touring around the country, but I knew I was going to be a part of entertaining and making people laugh on a daily basis. So
So being from the Bronx, how was your childhood coming up? Like, what was some of the things that you incurred in regards to any social injustices that may have detoured your route as being a stand-up comedian?
You know, I mean, I came up in the Bronx, 80s baby, I'm an 84 baby. So single mother raising three boys. Now, when I say single mom, father's not around. So we dealt with that. We dealt with that as young men coming up, but having a strong mother as I was coming up in the Bronx, in the early, late 80s, early 90s was, I don't know, looking back on it, you don't realize it until you're older now. And you hear the stories and stuff, but the Bronx it's the reason why they call it Boogie Down. Because there was a lot of stuff always going down. But just like any other city, you got your rough neighborhood. So coming up, as a youth, it was cool, but being that middle child and having an older brother and a younger brother, it was an interesting dynamic for me, trying to follow behind my older brother, whether it's playing sports, and then following into the arts and things like that. And I will say, my mom made that decision, in the late, I want to say 97, to take her three boys out of the hood, out of the shooting, and out of all the distraction, and moved us to upstate New York, maybe about 30, 40 minutes. Those that know Rockland County, if you're talking up north, and I want to say that was probably the first thing to kind of switch it, because we weren't around a lot of the city stuff that you used to seeing on television. You in Harlem, you in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? So not having that happening as much upstate in the suburbs, fortunate city, and I would come into the city and things like that. So for me, the childhood was interesting. Started out in the hood of the Bronx, and then I moved upstate up until junior high school into college. So childhood wasn't good. I don't have no crazy stories. I'm fortunate to have a strong mom. For me to be able to be where I'm at today. I worked in education before. Well, I've always done comedy, but education is my love. Working with kids and giving back. I've always been doing it. I started working at a young age. Coming in the city, I said, why not give back? That's the best way. My mother is a retired social worker, and she still works in that field now to this day. So my family is always, helping others. So for me, I started working in the Board of Education at 19 years old. Like, people know me from comedy, but as a dean of students, the Lower East Side of Manhattan, kids teaching, coaching, sports. So for me, from 19 to about the pandemic, a lot of it was my development as a man. Now taking those hood struggles, and now I'm applying them right away. Kids didn't even know I was their dean. I was 19 years old, but I was able to carry myself, and the principal gave me the opportunity to work my way up. Fast forward, I'm an educator giving back, and then comedy was just being in New York and being around the industry. So that's how it really came about, being in that field of public speaking, speaking to kids, speaking to parents. Like, I'm talking real deal parent teacher conferences for, for positive things, negative things. So I was that figure in the Lower East Side for almost a decade and a half. So I come from that background, and comedy just blended perfectly, coming out of that.
So you said you was in that world coming up. What comedic figures or icons have you ran into, starting off? I think it.
Well, it's funny too. Philly too. You can perform with some of the greats, but I've had the pleasure of working with Mike Epps, Ali Sadiq, DC Young Fly, Craig Robinson, Bill Burr. Just the list goes on and on. So for me, it's one of them things. You just got to be ready, and at the same time, from watching it on Comic View to now you on sharing these stages with these titans in comedy. And I'm doing my own thing too in my own right. I'm headlining. Like right now, like I just like full transparency. My bags ain't even unpacked yet, y'all. I'm in the hotel. I got off the plane. Lord willing, was trying to get here safe so I can do this. But this is the grind and the journey within the journey. You're working with some great people. You're on your own journey, your own path. So it's been a blessing, honestly. I can't even complain, brother, at all.
I'm gonna show you this this famous clip, and okay. I just want your reaction on it. So give me a second. Like I said, once we get big enough, I won't have to do this no more. So hold on.
And that's your daughter, right? That's your daughter, right? The co-producer, I think co-host, right?
Yeah, the co-host. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to call her out her title. You know what I'm saying? So
hold on, I'm sorry.
Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Now, what's your response?
Two things. I was at the San Francisco Punchline in the Bay Area, and I was at a show, and they had just said a joke about Jada slapped somebody. And I didn't think it was nothing. I looked on Twitter, and I saw that exact clip. Now, my reaction right now when I'm looking at it again, I don't know, man. It's interesting because it's so foul, But it also, to me, was it staged? Like, I'm still even like, did that still happen? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if that's real, that's crazy. But we don't know. I really don't know. They got history, them two brothers, Chris and Will. They go way back. And specifically the jokes with Chris, with Jada. There's some stuff. And also, if you heard, and I don't want to be like, one of those journalists, but there was some talks where, Chris was trying to talk to Jada at one point when her and Will split. So I don't know. It's a weird dynamic going on with them, but that looked bad for the culture. I'm just going to say that hurt all of us, all comics around the country, us as Black people. Even if it was staged, it just wasn't a good look, I think. And we could have found other ways. And if you triggered like that, she got you like that, damn, brother. Because I know there was women around the country like you wouldn't do that for me. You wouldn't do that for me. But I don't want to promote violence.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But
it's
that's wow.
It was another clip. I'll probably show it when once you roll off. It was I forgot what this guy's name is. Carrie, I forgot, but like a lot of comics said, I remember Steve Harvey was saying like he knew who to test that with, but in regards to if he knew or not, it was like Will Smith just set us back like a couple of years, especially in the industry of Black comedians.
I agree.
I think that it was very distasteful, like you said. He could have waited till like after the show, and then if you peeped it, if you was really paying attention, Will laughed at the joke. And it only got serious for him when he looked at Jada. And, he went up there and I guess he did what he thought he had to do.
She did it. Apparently, she didn't think that was funny.
Yeah. I mean, like Chris Rock said, it was, he probably could have said something hard and slick. And, I mean, it was, I guess what y'all call like a soft one or something like that. I mean, I'm not in that industry. But industry or not, first of all, you in front of a host of a white audience, majority of white audience.
Millions and millions that's going to be watching. Millions and billions of viewers. Even if it was staged versus, because there was, rumors that it was staged and this was a way to get the, the attention on Will and Chris and him to do his tour. And You never know. It sounds okay. That sound good, but if that's real, that's rough. You got to take care of that. We got to handle our emotions better, brother. You know.
Yeah, and I think it's just two black men, and what you said, with you being an educator, what Will Smith just did to, well, instructed and taught to young youth is that, oh, you can slap anybody anywhere if you feel some type of way about what they said.
Right. And I have a 14-year-old and I have a 3-year-old, and that's definitely hitting somebody in a playful way. You know what I'm saying? Because then it goes from playful to now you think you can just hit mommy and daddy and your brother now. But we get it. He's 3. So you still want to be mindful of teaching so that when they get older, you know, you have some self-control. You know, now, granted, certain things you're going to have a reflex to in life if somebody's coming at you. You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing. Why Chris ain't reflex? Come on. You walk up on me like that, and that's for real. The first thing I'm doing is, what is he about to do right now? I'm already like, what is he about to do right now? I'm going to at least prepare myself. I'm not going to take that smack, though. That's for me. Like, so, and that's just me being a comedian. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a bad look for the culture, especially if you got kids out there aspiring to be like both those men, whether it's a comedian, a producer, entrepreneur. That's not how we want to carry, especially in like you said, a room full of white folks. And no disrespect to that, but it's like, come on.
Yeah, I think like what you said.
That's the last place we should be. I don't want to say acting up because I don't.
Right.
You know that sounds.
I think what you said in regards to him not responding back, because you know his react. Well, the backlash for Will Smith is that he got banned for 10 years, you know, from the show. So I think if Chris would have responded back, he probably would have got the same thing. But then like I told you, it was another clip where I'm not sure if you've seen Chris Rock's new special where he came at Will and Jada. And Will Smith actually said he was offended by what he said. I was just like,
right?
Like, cuz slapped like, this man on national TV. Like,
what you expect that
he was going to say?
Exactly. I agree. But that's the thing, you know. I try to stay out the way and away from that, even around situations like that. Like, you too playful. I don't even want to play like that. Like, let's just tell these jokes and let's keep it. I feel like somebody is comfortable enough to even want to do that to you. You get what I'm saying? So you always got to be mindful of the energy that you put out. Because you don't want somebody to think, and I'm not trying to say this in a condescending, like violent type way, but you don't want to put out energy where somebody can feel like they can disrespect you like that. You get what I'm saying? Like the first time, maybe because you don't know me, but y'all got history. That's why he felt he could do that. So we got to treat each other better, you know, also on the back end. So.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Now, when situations like that occur, is it like something that your management team tell you guys like what not to do? Because I mean, that was Will Smith as a heckler. So what do you guys do when it's just the average Joe? You know, you see somebody approaching the stage, like what's the protocol?
I mean, I'm from the Bronx, so we just trained a little differently in the arts. Listen, I've taken Taekwondo for about 9 years, and from high school through college, and so I'm gonna protect myself. Because I have a family and I got to make it home. But I'm always trying to de-escalate, and I think that's the first thing. So if I see it if I can feel his energy, and it really, I mean, if they on stage with me, then I got to go into protect mode. Like I'm not like, what are you doing up here? But now that has happened, now that if you see anybody moving towards the stage, you're like, what's going on? Why are you coming up here? Where you going? Where you going? But if you get into it with a heckler, you try to hit him a little bit with a joke, you laugh with him, and you get out of there. Because nowadays, you don't know what somebody's even going through. To hit them that hard, even if you roasting them and you killing them, you working them 4 or 5 minutes, I move on. Because you don't want somebody to just feel like, okay, you think you funny? I'm coming up on stage. People going through some stuff right now. People going through some real stuff right now. So you got to be careful even within heckling and roasting. You know what I'm saying? So, because it could turn into something real fast, you know? So.
Yeah, that's wild. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, you born and raised in the Bronx in New York. You know, you went from education to comedy. Where do you see where do you see the next thing for Joe Hill?
Well, right now, Joe Hill, household name, and that's taking it to the people. I think that's the best way to do it. I'm not waiting for someone to come along and discover me. I'm already discovered. I've already, I tour the same clubs as the A-list as your favorite comedians. I'm on the circuit. I started touring officially in 2019, and I honestly haven't stopped. Yeah, I take breaks and I still work the day gig, but I want to get it to a point where, we can break through with television at some point, more commercials. But in terms of the circuit, I'm always going to be performing, building fans, and coming back to places like here, Minnesota. My first time coming here was 2 years ago. Since then, this is my 5th trip, whether it's St. Paul or Rochester. And there's something to the more you come back to the city, the more you start to gain more energy and meet new people and do. That's one of the, it's audience Annapolis from St. Paul, hour and 40 minutes to come see me. Come to see this brother from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So there's a power in making the people laugh and consistently staying at it, going around the country. So for me, that's what it is. I just filmed my second stand-up special. It was actually in St. Paul at the end of January. So I'm looking to release that.
Oh, cool.
This summer. We're looking to get it on one of the streaming apps, whether Tubi, Amazon Prime, something. That way we can monetize that on the next level. But staying consistent, man. You see me, I'm always working. Comedy is a marathon, for me. So I'm not looking for any particular thing to say like success. People say, "What's your success?" To me, I've already made it. I'm going around the country making people laugh, doing what your favorite comedians are doing. You just might not know of, or I might not have I might have I might not have the same bank account, savings account as them, but I tell jokes. I've because I'm talking real life experiences. I'm not up on stage trying to tell you something I haven't lived. Whether it's being a parent, whether it's being in relationships, whether it's working in the Board of Education. Look, whether it's getting a Costco membership and telling you how much of a culture Costco is. Like, I'm telling you real observations and things in life. So just looking to keep it going, that's about it. Staying consistent right now. That's for me right now.
So for young females and males in the city that's looking for a career as a stand-up comedian, what advice would you give those individuals?
Get started. Get started at perfecting the craft, because it's comedy like a sport. It's not a hobby. You can do it as a hobby all you want, but comedy is a sport. You gotta come in with the mindset, like as if you are approaching an 82 game season. You got to come into it with the mindset that I want to be organically funny. I want to take my time, and I really want to work this. I've been doing comedy since 2008. So we talking like 16 years? My math is a little off. I had about 16 something in there, but that's nothing. So you got to get out there, get to the open mics, and then also learn the business. I think this is the most important part of what I'm about to say, because comedy is a business. How you market yourself? Do you have a website? Do you appeal to somebody that wants to book you? So yeah, you can be funny, but do you know the business? Can you navigate through this business? Can you create relationships? So a lot of it is in that, and it's not hard. It's just how bad do you really want it? How bad do you really want to take the route? Do you want to wait and hopefully get a call, somebody gonna discover you, or you just want to start your own journey and go where you want to go where you celebrate it, build your own network. So comedy, it don't matter when you start. I used to think it was like rap. You want to start young, but Jay-Z didn't get popping until his late 30s. You know what I'm saying? And Samuel Jackson and Akron. But I've been comedy for about 15 years, and I just feel like I'm just now starting to have more fun and evolving on stage. So just get started. Start punching in. You want to get that clock started. And when I say clock, you want to get them years under the belt, because it's about stage time. It's about learning the nuances. It's like a sport you play. If I'm playing ball and I want to be the best basketball player, I want to work on my moves. I want to work on my ad-libs. I want to work on my impersonations. I want to work on my handle. I want to have my handle meaning my stage presence. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to handle the crowd. You know, I want to be able to knock down the shot. That means I want to get a joke right away. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that, if you think about it like a battle, you have to apply this like a sport and stay tuned up, because that's just what it comes down to. And if you're a young comic and you don't have like a family like that, like when I say family, whether it's a wife, kids, you got even more time. You know what I'm saying? You have even less distractions to do it. So in that case, if you're a young comic, just get started. Get started.
Now, for the incident we've seen with Chris Rock and Will Smith, what advice would you give up and coming comics in regards to how to handle a situation like that if they were, you know, the one that was being attacked?
I mean, the first thing is protect yourself at all times. Yeah. I got brothers. You better protect yourself at all times. You know what I'm saying? Like, protect yourself too. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to figure out a way to have a conversation. I mean, I'm pretty sure they did have a conversation of some sort offline, whether it was on the phone. Because I'm not gonna allow you to disrespect me like that again. You know, especially so. Right. You know, once you get to that, you set your boundaries, and then from there, I think navigating in comedy, I think always showing respect to the game, your peers, always be reliable. You know, always treat people with that respect, so that at least they, you know, give you that energy back. That's the best advice. You know, but if somebody walking up to you and they swinging on you, you need to protect yourself. that's the first initial, because that's the first thing. So, well,
look, bro, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on.
I'm gonna come back on too, man. I got you.
Yeah. Cool. And send us, you know, you said you got that show coming up, or you know, that special coming up. Send us that information. You know, we'll advertise it on the show for you know, just to get the word out. You know, put it on the foundation's page and everything like that.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm coming to the East Coast, because you know I live out in California now. I'm in the Bay Area, but my home is, you know, New York. I'll be in New York in May. I'll be in Yonkers. I'll be in Albany. But I'm working on a possible Philly punchline coming back there. Cool. I did it 2 years ago. So if I can get this date, which I'm waiting on, we're waiting to lock that in. It's probably going to be later on this year. But once I lock that in, I definitely want you to come out, bring the fam. I get you, you know, hook you up with a couple of tickets to come out and show love. So
cool. I appreciate that. Definitely. But
yes, sir.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. I know you guys get ready to roll out, and it was a pleasure having you.
It's snow outside. Minnesota is, for y'all right now, wherever y'all at, I got a couple inches of snow outside. So that means the people gonna come here. So I'm good. We good. It's gonna be a great 2 nights. So thank you, brother, for having me. Like I said, I'll be back. Follow me, y'all. Show love.
And where can the people follow you at in regards to social media?
Follow me, right? I think it's right here. I think you can see it at This Is Joe Hill, at This Is Joe Hill, or go to my website. This is joehill.com. This is joehill.com. I'm on social media. I'm everywhere. You can find me on YouTube. I got my first special. I even got comedy albums. Just look me up. I'm on Google. You can listen to me in the car right now. Just type in Joe Hill. You'll see my comedy albums. I got a bunch up there, streaming on all your platforms. So ain't no reason not to be like, let me see if he's funny. Let me. I can't get to Minnesota. Let me see. Go listen to anything and right now streaming, and you tell me. So,
well, I definitely enjoy your material, and I definitely enjoy you coming out and sharing your experiences with us.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. Take care, man. Can't wait to see you again.
Yes, sir. Be blessed. Y'all be good.
All right, bye-bye. Comic fanatic, Mr. Joe Hill. We try to get a different range of people on here that we interview, you know, just to have a variety, to have people's different opinions on different subjects. And I definitely wanted to know his opinion in regards to the Chris Rock episode with, in regards to him and Will Smith, because that definitely could have went a different way. But like he said, Mr. Hill said, it definitely was a setback for the culture, the comedic culture, black culture, and it could have been handled in a different light. I didn't plan on asking him about that, but I figured, shoot, he's in that field, that area, and that was a serious moment for black people. I'm gonna show you guys this other clip from Entertainment Tonight. Give me a minute there. All right, so hold on. Here it is right here. Let me pull it up here. So this is Chris Rock's, you could say, his response to what happened with him and Will Smith.
I've rooted for Will Smith my whole life. I root for this motherfucker, okay? And now I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped.
Chris Rock took aim at Will Smith during his Netflix comedy special on Saturday, 1 year after the actor slapped him at the Oscars. Now, a source tells ET Will is embarrassed and hurt by what the comedian said about him and his family. During the special, Chris referenced the cheating rumors that surrounded Will and his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, in 2020.
And his wife was her son's friend, okay? Now, I normally would not talk about this, but for some reason, these put that on the internet.
I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a
Yeah.
relationship. Absolutely.
She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay? And who's he hit? Me.
The special marks the first time Chris has spoken publicly about the Oscars slap.
And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears.
Sorry about that. My mic was muted. So his response was pretty pretty funny to me. I think Chris handled it in a professional manner. It could have been a brawl on stage, but like I said, he handled it in a very professional manner. He retaliated back at Will Smith in his own craft, the craft of comedy. And obviously that hurt Will Smith more than the actual slap that Will gave to Chris. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I think as a culture, it set us back in regards to the message that Will sent out to youth. Because once he did that, it was telling them that, hey, if you get offended, then, you got to attack somebody. And that's not always the case. Like Joe said, somebody is coming at you, then you got to defend yourself. Chris Rock didn't come down to the audience and put his hands on Jada or Will. He did his craft. He said a joke, and due to the feelings or, excuse me, whatever Will was thinking at the time, one thing led to another. I have great respect for both comedians, both actors, but I think it was very distasteful for how he handled the situation, and it definitely could have been handled in a better way. So that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. You definitely can check out Joe Hill at This Is Joe Hill. He's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, excuse me, He does have a special coming out. He's going to send us the information, and we'll definitely share that on our show. But you guys have a wonderful evening. God bless, and good night.